Good morning, viewers. This is Emonews, and I am live at the command center up at Warner. Today is day 4, and the search continues for 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne. Pretty shortly, we'll hear from the Prime Minister of Dominica. He is here at the command center, and he will be addressing the nation. Emonews will be here to broadcast this address to you near and far. We ask that you continue to keep the family and continue to pray that 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne is found. At present, we have other officials at the scene. The Prime Minister is briefing the persons here at the Commander Center, and pretty soon he will address the nation. So stand by for this update. This is the Commander Center, which houses the police top rank officials, the nurses, the doctors. Kernisha was kidnapped from her home and is yet to be found. So we are here at Warner to bring the news to you as it unfolds. We have limited movement here of the civilians. The area was blocked off from one end to the next. I think after the Prime Minister addresses the nation, I think they will allow them to come in. But as of now, we have limited movement of civilians here. Folks are already coming. On my way up here, I saw lots of folks along Warner, and they are getting ready to head out on day 4. Thank you for joining us here this morning, and pretty soon we will join the commander team with the Prime Minister of Dominica as he addresses the nation. They are dressed in green. Big up to all those who donated food items, water, to the many people who have been out there searching for the past 4 days. Big up to those who are helping as well to distribute the food at the food center right here. Well coordinated and organized. So big up to them. And kudos to the many persons out there who came out to search for 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne. But as of now, we are just standing by. We are waiting on the address by the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Hon.Prime Roosevelt Skerrit. It's a very gloomy day today as well. The sun is not out. Well, it's out, but it's not a bright day. Very gloomy day today. As you know, we had some rain overnight. It's windy a bit, but the temperature is cool for now.
Like that.
For those of you joining me, we are live at the Command Center. We are with the address by the Prime Minister of Dominica. Those of you driving, please be very careful. We have seen an increase in accidents. Please drive carefully, buckle up, it saves lives.
Hello, how are you?
How are you, sir?
Cool man this morning.
Where are you coming from this morning?
Mary got back again. I'm the one who talked to you yesterday. Yes.
You
So,
got some sleep last night?
well, yes, I take a little sleep because I wanted to come here this morning, so I cannot later, but anyway, thanks God I reached. So, yeah, so I just come and watch the vibes and see what I can do today. And so.
Okay, all the best.
So you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
This man came from Marigon. He was here yesterday as well, and he's back at it today. I see a few PSEs. I see Mr. Roland Royer. I see Miss Karen. I don't remember her last name, but she's here. I know we are all passionate about this, so meanwhile we're encouraged to stop spreading false information. We're encouraged to be careful and be mindful of what we are posting on social media. And we ask that to continue to pray for this 12-year-old. You can well imagine what she's going through. But we know God is always on time. So we are expecting some good news. And we hope that she'll be found safe and alive. So good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm
Where are you coming from?
Lapland.
You came from Lapland this morning, and
Yeah.
you are here to help with the search.
Yeah, really.
Well, all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice, thank you. Good morning, sir.
Morning, ma'am.
Where are you coming from?
Marigot.
Marigot Strong.
Very
And you are
much.
here to assist with the search.
Exactly.
Okay, all the best.
You too.
I see you're ready to go. You have your cutlass and you're
ready.
all set to go.
Today we have to find out today, man.
Where are you coming from?
Laplin.
Laplin. Alright, thank you. So lots of folks are already coming down, and you can hear they're coming from near and far. They're coming from Laplin, Grand Bay, Point Michel. I saw some people from Penville here already. They are coming from all over Boitica, Grand Fond. So it's always nice that folks can leave their homes to come and assist with this search. So there's not much to show. We are just waiting for the signal to enter into the command center as the Prime Minister addresses the nation. Mr. Bruno, how are you?
I'm good.
I saw some members of the BIS Club on the search yesterday. How are you this morning?
Alright, just good, just waiting to go out. It's all good.
It's day 4. What would you like to say about the entire situation?
Well, it's a very daunting time, but spirits are high. We're still doing what we have to do. Work continues, hoping that everything can be resolved in the quickest possible time and life can go back to normal.
We are hoping that life can go back to normal after today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So how are you? Good morning. What's your name, officer?
James.
Officer James. So are you ready to go out today?
Yes, we're just waiting.
We're just waiting for the order to head out. But stay safe and all the best.
Alright, thanks.
Good morning, my media colleague. How are you?
Good.
You are live on MO today. You are here to broadcast this speech today
Certainly on the genuine song.
on the genuine song of Dominica.
Kyrie FM.
Kyrie FM.
Looking for the Prime Minister.
Looking on the Prime Minister. So we are all here. The DVS is here. Kyrie FM is here. GIS is here. Emonews is here. And today we will bring you the news as it unfolds. So we are still waiting. Perhaps you can go and drink some faculty still and come back, but I'm here to bring you this address. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
You back at it this morning?
Yes, I have to be there.
How was it
Today,
yesterday?
before yesterday, today suppose is my Sabbath day to be in church. But the Father say in times like that, that is more important than going to church. So I am there.
Happy
I am
Sabbath.
there. Thank you very much. And I hope, because today's the Sabbath is going to be a very successful day for us, we're going to meet Kernisha. And well, I'm concerned about the guy too. But my primary objective is for us to get Kernisha today. And somehow I have a feeling something is going to be positive. Yesterday was good. Yesterday was very good. We get some information. We went in the Atlee area. I am from St. Joseph Layo. I used to farm in Atlee, so that is my backyard since I little boy going to hunt there with my father. So we went to the Atlee area. They told us about some abandoned building, only to find Just the pillars, the concrete pillars that remain there. I get married and things like that. Not even wood we see there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't successful. I was really disappointed after that. But, and then we meet. I met a guy and he told me the police were there yesterday, or the search party. Search party was there yesterday, and he gave them information from Atley where they could end up in Bells. There's a track from Atley passing through Chapara to go Bells, and they did that, but nothing at all.
But the search continues and we're hoping for good news.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe, I'm positive. I believe so. I believe we'll have some positive news. I believe somehow something is telling me she's still alive. Something is telling me she's still alive.
Thank you so much and all the best today.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes.
Thanks.
So this is the situation here. Folks are back here. They were at it yesterday and they are back at it today. So we're still here on standby, awaiting the address. I think he's briefing the officers in charge of this command center as to how long this is going to take. I am not sure. Yeah.
Don't call me again, eh?
Mr. Kopel, good morning again. How are you?
Fine.
We want to say thank you publicly on Emonews for assisting here this morning. Again, 3 days.
3 days back to back. I'm happy to be there again. We decided to volunteer, give the police the assistance that they require this time, and I will pass that for now.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'm happy to see Emo carrying this event live for the world to see. Thank you, Emo.
You're welcome. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye. We are getting set to enter the commando center. In 2 minutes, we will begin.
When people actually registering, is that something down there? Officer, citizens supposed to be registering down there. Citizens supposed to be registering down there. Don't go down there.
Why go down there? They're telling me out there. Then
They are not ready as yet. They are not ready as yet, so we have to wait.
I'm getting like a blue.
I want to stand by the transmission will be starting in a month. No one. We go to start. No, I will still leave my. I go keep the phone. No, I know. Government
But I don't know, the police and them just have been there, nobody did want to move, so the press can do what they have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just put
Emonews must give me a shift like that.
I think so too.
It's true. Anything else?
We have the Honorable Minister Skerrit, we have the Blackmore, we have the Prime Minister, we have
Just place it flat.
Quebec.
This way? This way. Okay. Press this flat, please. Thank you.
Ready?
just wait a second. Yeah. We're ready. Come across, we're ready. Yeah. Ready, Benny? Yeah, we ready, Sarah? We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, great media and of course to greet all the citizens of our country. Of course, our Minister of National Security, the Deputy Chief and his gazetted officers and rank and file. We continue to treat the situation at hand with the highest priority. The police continues to be provided with all of the resources they have requested, human and otherwise, to continue operation. I am here to I've received a brief from the police on the operation thus far and the next steps. I can say that the police is extremely committed to the task. Many the various units within the police force police service have been used. As you know, we have in excess of 105 police officers assigned exclusively to this effort, and whatever additional officers needed, that will be determined by the commanders here. The different elements to the search. I want to say to you that we continue to receive assistance externally. The French, the RSS, we also discussing and finalizing some assistance from the US government as well. But for obvious reasons, we have decided not to share the specific aspects of the support we're receiving, because you will all recognize that this is not just a missing child. There's another component to it, and therefore it's not been taken not to share any information of the kind of support we're receiving. So certainly the RSS will provide us with tremendous support, and we're employing all strategies. We have deployed all the resources towards the search. I really want to thank, first of all, the police for their steadfastness. This is a 24-hour operation that has been going on from day one, and also the public. The public have been very responsive responsive to the call. The private sector entities have been provided. And one of the things that we would like to caution those volunteers is that we have to desist from going live in the bushes or even at the command center. And also the media too, that there's certain things that we have to be careful that we don't publicize and disseminate. Because those things, while it is good meaning, may jeopardize the efforts. And so let us be guided by the Deputy Chief of Police and his officers also how we go about this. But the live shots, white people out, the photographs, the videos, these things are not helpful. Though we know that it's not been done if any malice, it's been done out of concern, out of motivation, out of interest and so forth. So we're not condemning anybody for it, we're just asking from henceforth we should not engage ourselves in these activities. But we continue to press on. This is a priority for us, and I am kept briefed and posted by the Deputy Chief and the Minister for National Security on an ongoing basis. And they don't have to come to me to request any support. Obviously, with regards to our external entities, the request will have to be made by the Prime Minister, and I have also delegated aspects of that to the Minister of National Security, so that we can short circuit any requests or any approvals. So the Minister has full authority to authorize and to request as well any kind of external support that we need on this matter. Now, because once these contacts are made, then the police are in direct contact on a technical level with the operational side of things. So far, things are going okay. I know people have raised the issue about some appearance of lack of coordination. This is not the case. When there's a police operation and then you have civilians operations. So sometimes we look at the civilians operations and so forth, when there are certain things that the police cannot share with the public. I said for obvious reasons. But I can say to you, I am very satisfied with the approach that the police has taken. I'm very satisfied with the level of commitment that they've shown and dedication they've shown. And every one of these officers here and elsewhere have taken this as a personal project, a personal matter, and are all intrinsically motivated. And people come here every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day with no complaint whatsoever. And no rest days. There are no rest days for any police officer so far. So there's a full commitment to this, and let us be constructive with our voice. Let us be positive with our voice, and let us be encouraging with our voice. This is all we ask of the public. Of course, the prayers are always expected and should not cease, and certainly should also be amplified. So far, we will not be satisfied until the child has been found. And so, but every effort will be made. I said this is not just a child who went in the forest. The child has been taken from the safety of a home, and so you have to approach this from a different element. So I will pass on to the Chief of Police, who could speak to others specific. Deputy Chief of Police, who could speak to some specific issues.
Good morning all those listening via radio and other means. Just to reiterate and reinforce some of the points that we've said before, we should thank all members of the public for assisting us thus far. Over the past 3 days, they have been an outpouring of support for the police. We are very thankful. We've had to take just to tweak our operations a bit So those of you who are coming out here today would have seen a different approach. It's not to, as it were, to bar members of the public from assisting, but we have to be very cautious and very careful as to how we go forward from there. We've seen some injuries to members of the public. The health personnel on site have been very busy. We've seen cuts, we've seen lacerations, taking up to 5, 7 or more stitches. We've also seen people coming with, not properly attired, coming with slippers, with sneakers, and you can well understand. You go in this sort of terrain with all these wet conditions. Might very well find yourself getting injured, and then you have to be rescued. We've also seen people getting lost. That in itself takes away some of our time and our resources. While we should be focused on looking for the young lady, we have to now go there looking for people who are part of the team. Again, as I said, they're very enthusiastic, but a lot of them are not really trained or already adapted to the conditions out there. So we've had to, as I said, refocus our strategy and some of our approach. Again, as I say again, it's not to bar or not to stop or to discourage people from coming, but to ensure that we get the best assistance that's required. I will go into details as to how we're going forward in operations from there. Just to see, as I said before, we have spent no effort whatsoever until we get this young lady back to her family. That's our main and primary objective, is to get young Kernisha Etienne back in the safe hands of her family. We'll ramp up our activities, we'll ramp up our approach from all angles. Again, without even giving more details, but clearly we have to push more, we have to push harder, and to ensure that we can get this young child back to home. We've not got any credible lead as yet as to the whereabouts of the young lady or the suspect. Regardless of that, we're pushing, and we're pushing as hard as we can. And we follow all leads that we get. We've had many reports of sightings all over the place. Over 10, 12, 15 maybe, and we followed every one of them. Every one of them we followed them. But so far we've not been successful. Some have been very strange leads, some have been very strange information. We followed every one of them, including people who have had visions. We follow them. Because we're taking no chances, because we want to find this child. We want to find this child. Okay. Again, just to reiterate, we're not turning back members of the public, but we just want to ensure, that those who come here are really equipped and able to assist us, and not causing us into a carnival atmosphere, and that we can get real true assistance from members of the public. I must thank also the officers who have been at it. This is our 4th day at it, and we're going to go until such time that we find this young lady. Again, we have all officers, available officers, in excess of 105, and if necessary we can bring some more. And as indicated by Prime Minister, we have all that we need, including assistance from external partners. And as the days go on, well, it shouldn't be days, I'm hoping that today should be the last day that we can find the young lady. But as the days go on, and that we need assistance from external partners or anybody else, we'll do so to seek it, so we can find this young lady. I think I've said enough. I'm not sure if we have. And additionally, if the suspect, he and Daryl Alexander or Bells, is hearing us, or you can get a message from us, urge him, just surrender yourself to the police. Bring in the child and just surrender yourself and get things opened on you. The young lady really and truly needs to be with her family and with her, in the comfort of her family, I should say. So if you're hearing us, whatever means, we're not sure whether you can hear us by whatever means, whether it's Facebook or whatever other social media platform, please surrender yourself to the nearest police station. So anybody that you know in the community that will take you into the police, please surrender yourself. Okay, so at this stage, I think we open to the floor to questions.
question. Last evening I met with the parents one-on-one, and they are very optimistic that the child will be returned knowing their son. But their biggest concern is a civilian, somebody in the search and rescue does not confront him and kill him. Have any advice been given from your team to the civilians, the rescue team, to prevent this from happening?
Every time we send parties out, we do so with officers alongside them. We've had instances where people may have gone out on their own that we're not aware of. But even when we find out, as I said, our objective is to find the young lady. So if you were to meet the gentleman, well, should I say gentleman? If you were to meet Kian Daryl Alexander by himself, cool yourself, take him to custody, into custody and bring him to the police. It makes no sense meeting the suspect or Kian and enjoying him or killing him. What happens to the young lady? So we've briefed, we've admonished, we've warned, we've advised all the civilians who are assisting us. Our objective is to get the young lady. If you meet him, bring him in. Do not injure him, do not hurt him, do not beat him, but take him into the police so he can lead us to the young lady. So the family can be assured that our intention is to just get the young lady. That's what it is.
So have you been successful with the use of the helicopter in the search?
Success, quote unquote, yes, but I'm not sure exactly what you mean by success. But you will understand the nature of our forest or vegetation out there. I could be hiding under a small tree and you fly right past it. Okay? So we've used the chopper or the helicopter. We've gotten certain information from them. I will not disclose to the public. But we've gotten some success, yes. But I'm not sure if your success means identifying the suspect.
Making use of the helicopter, did it have any difficulty with our terrain?
No difficulty.
Every help we've received so far, both within the country and externally, has been helpful. And as I said, we're getting more help, but for obvious reasons, those details will no longer be shared with the public. Okay, but we continue to work with our partners. Some have called. The government of Venezuela has made contact with me, indicating that they're on standby if they're needed in any shape and form. So we are taking note of all of the offers, and we are, based on the advice, the police are the ones who decide what kind of support they need. We're here to provide and to make contacts and to facilitate. So we're guided by the police on this. This is a police matter first and foremost. The police is leading this, and the operations are conducted by the police. We here, myself as the Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, to provide all of the logistical, financial, and all the support that the police needed outside of what the police has at its usual disposal. And we, whenever a request is made, certainly that is facilitated.
I just want to ask quickly though, the French national who came to assist, we did say that they were encountering some difficulties in the K9 unit, and they had to return. In terms of they coming back to the island, where are we?
Yeah, as I said, we're not going to speak about the details of those things because of the nature of the operations. This is not a child who left the house on her own and got lost in the forest. And so the police has taken a decision not to share the details of the operations, the details of what kind of support they're receiving, and when the support will arrive and when the support will leave, and those kind of details. Just to make it very clear to the public that the police has all of the resources that they say they need, and this has also been supplemented by our external partners. Just to say that we're not leaving any stone unturned, and neither are we turning down any offer of assistance. And all of the requests that we have made to all our partners thus far have been answered in the affirmative.
but the objective itself is to find Kian alive.
That's the first objective. I say the police primary, of course the operations primary, the entire country's primary objective is the child, because she's vulnerable. 12 years old, should be home, should be preparing for exams. That's the preoccupation, and that should be the preoccupation of all of us in the country. The child's safety, first and foremost. The other things can come after. But once we can have the child home safely, then we can all breathe a sigh of relief, and the other investigative aspects will follow. But that's the preoccupation. So the operation is centered on bringing Miss Etienne home alive. That's the center of the operation.
My final question, given the optimism that the parents shared last night that the child is safe, do you share that same optimism?
Well, I'll defer to the police on this, but we all remain hopeful. We are moving ahead as a country with the hope and the expectation that she's alive. So that is first and foremost, that she's alive and that she's somewhere in Dominica, and we just need to locate her. And as we said, we have said to Mr. Alexander, Ken Alexander, if he's hearing us, report to the nearest police station or drop her off at a home with somebody and let us know which home that she is in, so she can be taken to the medical authorities. That would be certainly be helpful. So if the parents have that level of confidence as we do, then they can also send a message to Kian as well, to communicate with him. And to let them know where you intend to drop Kernisha, so that the authorities can go and get her.
Can I ask a question to Mr. Blackmore? Mr. Blackmore, just aside quickly, we've seen what seemed to be a level of crime in the country, just as a murder last night. Any thoughts on or concerns about that?
Good morning, Prime Minister, good morning, Deputy Chief, Mr. Valerie, members of the media fraternity, and those of you listening. How can I answer that question? The fact of the matter is, every time you have an incident where somebody's life has been taken away, in most cases, the most senseless manner, is concerning for everybody in this country, for human heart. It doesn't make sense every time something like that happens to be saying the same thing. We have to act as a nation to correct this level of deviance and crime. And there has to be, therefore, the persistent rebuke and condemnation within the various communities where those actions or acts take place. And of course, the government, from a policy standpoint, over the years, as you have known, Mr. Pelton has done everything in terms of ensuring that we have the requisite pieces of legislation to help to mitigate against such criminal behavior. In terms of the gun law, of course, years ago, we repealed the Firearms Act and enacted the most comprehensive, with very stringent sentences. That's one. Recently, we standardized the manner in which bail can be granted, and illegal possession of firearms and other related gun crimes are listed as serious offenses for which bail should only be granted if certain conditions are met. That's what we have done as a government. But there has to be a broader societal response to deal with that. And the police, for this year so far, have recovered more firearms than they recovered last year. A number of matters go before the court. So what we need also is that all agencies within the societal space have to recognize the need to act and act seriously, and to ensure that also that when matters are brought before the court for gun-related matters, that the sentences suit the crime. But the law has to have sanction. And the law can only have sanction when people are brought before the court and the sentences suit the crime. My final comment on that. There are what they call consensus crime. Consensus crime. There's consensus amongst members of society that gun-related matters are serious offenses. Do you understand what I'm saying? Rape are serious offenses. So therefore, all the facets of the criminal justice system have to sing from a shame leadership. So not only the police, not only the government, but you and I also have the responsibility to act and to try to arrest the situation.
Just to say in furtherance to the point that the minister has made, and I agree with him entirely, and we all agree that crime is a societal problem, and therefore it requires a comprehensive societal response to treating with the situation. But we have a bigger problem in the Caribbean with regards to the presence of illegal small arms, all of which, or the majority of which, come from the United States of America. Every Caribbean country has that problem. And this was a major point we raised at the Summit of the Americas, which is just concluded in Los Angeles. And we have urged the U.S. authorities over the years, and that was echoed by every country represented at the Summit of the Americas, not only in the Caribbean, but even Latin America and South America, of the need for the U.S. to do more to control the small arms leaving their shores and coming to our shores. In the middle of the pandemic, we purchased a scanner in excess of $2 million. So far it has been helpful, but it is not going to address the issue 100%. But one can appreciate in this difficult period what we could have done in over $2 million. But we had to invest in this because it is a concern of the government, it is a concern of the police, and so we've invested in this. And so we will continue to work with our American partners on this because all of these incidences are related to illegal firearms. You see, and so we have to try to also address it from the root. And to see how we can stem this incident. One crime in any country is one crime too many. But when you look at the statistics from other countries in the Caribbean, our situation is far away from this situation. But the police are doing everything we can to ensure that we do not get to that situation. You understand? But for us not to get to that situation, every one of us in society must play our part in stemming this. And you see how we have had this national response to this situation? That's how we must have a national response to other crimes, gun crimes and other crimes within our country. And so your question is an important one, and I think it brings to the fore the responsibility of the society in fighting crime in our country. And let's be frank ourselves as society. Sometimes we want crimes to be dealt with, criminal activity to be dealt with, but when the police is doing its work, we criticize the police. Say, oh, the police shouldn't do that, police shouldn't do that. And then, if the police will stand back, then they say, where's the police? So we have to be encouraging. If the police are not above the law, they must always operate within the laws of the country. You see, almost always operate within the laws of the country, and everyone has to be viewed as innocent until proven guilty. That's the foundation of our system. But we must play our part in fighting this. From the government standpoint, in all my years as Prime Minister, I have ensured that police has the resources that it needs. And sometimes I've given them more than they've asked. More than they've asked, I've given to them because I understand how that the security of our country is very, very important. Very, very important for the socio-economic advancement of our people. If all of us can walk in peace and feel safe, the country is fine. But I am still satisfied, notwithstanding the incidents that we have across the country from time to time, that Dominica is a safe place. Dominica is a safe place. We always have to be careful, we always have to be mindful of where we are and where we go, but Dominica is a safe place. You know, and I think we have to promote that aspect of it while we address the incidents that we have from time to time. But we must never give the world the impression that Dominica is not a safe place. I am not aware of any country in this world that is safer than Dominica. And I'm not saying so to chastise other countries or anywhere else, but Dominica is a very, very, very safe place. It is still a country where many of us can leave our windows open and go to bed. You know, and leave our homes unlocked and leave vehicles and go to town. And your homes are unlocked. The people from where Emonews resides. You know what I mean? So, and you can walk the streets. I mean, you will have situations where people might be accosted from time to time. But generally speaking, widely speaking, our country is a safe place. But we're here to focus on the search and rescue of young Kernisha, and we're pressing on. The police is fully motivated. As I said, I'm here to receive a face-to-face brief from the police and the Minister of Security, and to ask the police, every time I meet them, I ask the question, do you have all what you need? Do you need anything else? Because I want to ensure that they have all of what they need, from food, water, to all of the necessary tools of trade, as the Minister of National Security would always say, that to carry out the duties and so forth. So, but we will never rest. We will never be comforted by what the police has done or what others are doing until we bring this young lady safe. I said the family is confident that the young lady is safe, and they have any means of communicating this message to anyone there. Then let us ask that he can stop at any police station close by, or you can drop up at the bus stop and tell us where she is, or somebody's veranda and say, this is the young lady from Warner, and so forth, and we can deliver other issues after that. But once we can bring the young lady home and she can be home in a warm bed and have a breakfast and a lunch and so on, I think we will give a sign of relief, because that is the focus of the state. As it is. The other issues will be dealt with afterward. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is address by the Prime Minister, Deputy. Here you have it addressed by the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Minister of Security, and the Deputy Commissioner. As the search continues for 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne, and you heard from them that they are pleading to Kian if he is out there and he is listening, he has access to a phone, please surrender. Please surrender, and we pray that this little girl will be found today. Once again, thank you all for joining us, and we will be back to give you further updates later on today as the search continues for 12-year-old Kernisha Etienne. On behalf of Emonews, we thank you for joining us here this morning. We will see you all shortly.